Hi, welcome back. Today, one of the first jobs I think I need to do is to install a reversing camera and monitor into the van, because whilst the mirrors are really good, especially for driving, and even for reversing, the mirrors are really good, but they don't show you exactly what's directly behind the van. So I picked this one up on Amazon. It wasn't expensive. It was maybe, I don't know, 40 pound-ish. But the reviews are pretty good on it. And it's wireless. And the reason I chose wireless is because I could have got a wired one, which I would have preferred actually, but there's no way to to guarantee that the length of cable this of our supply is going to be long enough to reach from the very back of the van to the front of the van. I'm going to show you what's inside the box, and then hopefully we can get this fitted. So the first thing that this comes with is a TFT colour monitor. This is to be fitted inside of the dash, although I'm not quite sure where yet. It does come with a kind of mount that you can put in the dash itself and then fix the monitor into that. And it also comes with a stand and a sticky pad. So this theoretically could, I'm not sure, I think this can be mounted so it appears it appears to be like a rear view mirror. So this would fix to the windscreen using the pad and then screw on like that, or perhaps even dash mounted face up. So I'll experiment with that before I finally fit it and just see how it goes. There's also some screw holes in each of the corners, so this can be fitted to the dash. And on here we have two phono plugs. One is for the camera that's supplied with the kit, and you can also buy an additional camera, so you could have two cameras on the back of the van, maybe one on the front of the van, or one either side, or one pointing down and one pointing back, and you can switch between those two, which could be quite useful, and maybe I'll fit one of those in the future. This van does have a step on the back, which adds just that little bit of length to the van that perhaps you're not quite as aware of, because it sticks out at the bottom. So maybe it would be useful to have one pointing down, especially for tight car parking spaces. But also attaching to the camera is the wireless receiver. So this goes into the first camera phono plug, and this receives the signal from the camera itself and supplies that to the video. And then at the back of the van, obviously, we have the camera unit, and I need to find somewhere to mount this. I'm not quite sure where it's going to go yet. Probably above the number plate, in between the lights. But I'm just going to do some test fits first and see how that goes, and just see where it might be best suited. And then connected to that is the wireless sender. This actually comes with a remote control also for the TFT screen for the monitor, but really I'm not sure that's necessary. I'm going to be sat right next to it. So this will probably live out the rest of its life in one of the glove box compartments, of which there are many in this van. It's not exactly ideal. It's kind of at the wrong angle to put next to the existing bulbs for the number plate holder, so I'm not quite sure what I'm going to do. I could mount it at the top, but I'm not entirely sure that's going to work either. It might be too far for the cables to run, so I'm going to have to rethink this a little bit. Okay, so it looks like I'm left with little choice. To the best of my ability, I figure that the camera is designed to be actually mounted this way up. Under normal circumstances, like on a car, it would be mounted underneath above the number plate. And since that won't work for me because it'll be pointed up because of the angle of the back door, I think I'm going to mount it on this step here. Bolted like that, it should be. It's not ideal, but at least it wouldn't be the perfect angle. And then we're going to have to run the wires up underneath the bumper, along, and in through the grommet over here. And so that's what I'm going to do. On these transit vans, we basically need to be taking off these screws here and here, and that should allow us to remove this rear light cluster. And on these, I think the live wire is, I think this green one feeds the reversing lights. But I just need to double check that with a meter. So I'll attach this spade clip here and attached the camera live wire to the reverse light live wire here, just using a Scotch lock. And so now I'm going to attach this spade to this earth bolt here, along with these other earths, and then we should be good to go for the camera. Well, it's the next day, it's day 2, and yesterday was pretty much a disaster, to be honest. Why it was a disaster? Scotch locks. They're just a nightmare. I've used them in the past. I don't know why I used them again, probably because it's easy. I even almost started out the video yesterday with a warning not to use Scotch locks, because they're shit, really. They don't make great connections, and yesterday I spent pretty much hours going back over the work that I'd already done, removing the Scotch locks and making hard connections and soldering them in, because the connections just weren't great. So I wasn't getting power or reliable power to any of the devices at the back of the van or the front of the van. And then it came to sticking the TFT screen to the windscreen, which seemed to go up okay, but then every time I came back to the van it had just fallen down. So my next job to finish off things is going to be to attach that to the actual head lining of the van instead of the windscreen. I'm just going to rivet that in, because it's not going to be coming out again, it's going to be staying in.
They're taking her to the best pub in Hampshire, but they won't tell us where it is or what it is exactly, and we want to know.
I'll put it in reverse gear.
Steve from Wadhurst.
The monitor comes on, camera turns off, and I can see where I'm going.
For the sponsored moped ride on Thursday, it's 50.